Hey guys, welcome back. We are excited to be with you guys yet again. We just got to have a little getaway, the two of us.
Yeah.
And so we are knocking out another episode before we hit the road again.
Yep. Busy.
Very much so.
That's funny.
We're excited that we actually have two of our kids that as of right now when we're recording are back in the United States.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Yes, exactly.
We oftentimes hear from parents that are sad that their kids are, a few
college.
hours away or
Yeah.
off to college. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could even send an Amazon package to our daughter.
I know.
Perspective. That's what that is.
Seriously.
Just some perspective.
It really is.
But we do have some actually really exciting news to share. And the reason why, for once in our life, we are actually recording ahead of time is for some unexpectedly early good news.
Yeah.
You gonna say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a grandpa.
You're a grandpa.
Yep.
Gramps. That's what we're gonna call you. Gramps.
Yeah.
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 We've been trying to decide on grandparent names.
I don't really care because she can call me whatever she wants.
For sure.
Like that's
We're
it.
just super thankful, and we kind of share seasons of our life with all of you and what's on our heart and mind. And this is a big one. She is a week old as of today when we're recording. She came early, but praise God that she is healthy.
perfectly healthy.
And, even though she little itty bitty, she did not have to stay in the NICU. Our daughter was a warrior during delivery, and we're just praising God for his miracles, and life is a miracle.
Absolutely.
I will tell you that Gramps over here is obsessed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obsessed. And it is hilarious. Like at one point, we got to get away this past week. The hubs had to work, and so I tagged along before just us being gone, really for almost a month straight. And so at one point we're sitting by the beach, and I look over at him, and he has his phone that he is holding with a picture of our granddaughter on it, and he is pretending like he is holding her. So this is going to be next level.
Yeah. I mean, I won't get to physically see her until 3 weeks. I still have 3 more weeks left. So yeah.
It may change so much at this age. And we thought we would just barely be either making it for the birth and or immediately after. So
I mean,
everything has been escalated.
Yeah, it has. I think this was what I wanted though.
Right.
I would have rather been there after the baby was born, because that's how we're going down there.
Yeah. My mama's heart was wanting to be there before and during, just to help prepare and cheer our daughter on, but like I said, she was a complete warrior. I'm so thankful to God for having his provision and protection over every detail. And we're just excited to be in this new season for sure.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. I think all of us are still like, a lot has happened this year.
Yeah.
I feel like we've gotten just catapulted into just completely new aspects of our life. And it's so crazy how, you and I both know this, but no matter what, how one conversation, one phone call, one moment in time can just change everything. And it's both scary and beautiful all at once, because it just happens in a moment, in an instant.
I know.
And so it's pretty crazy. I definitely think both of us.
I do get on to my daughter already, because I'm like, I have not got a new picture today.
Even though she's been sending pictures every day.
Not to me.
Oh.
She sends them to you, and then I might get them. I just
think in her mind,
her husband has sent more to me.
If she's sending it to me, she knows that you're seeing it.
I know.
So there's
her husband has sent stuff to me, which is awesome.
Probably what we need to do is create a group text on WhatsApp so that she will do it that way.
But I love looking at this little grandbaby. It is interesting. This isn't even our topic. We're just sharing news, but it is interesting how, like, I remember when our daughter was born and then our son was coming, and I think I had talked to your mom, and I was like, I can't fathom, you know, like, I'm going to love both these kids, of course, but I have like so much love for this little girl. I can't fathom like what's it like? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. It doesn't seem possible to love someone as much as you.
Yeah. And then you do.
Yeah.
It's just this capacity that God gives you. You just have this love. And then, like, yeah, seeing our little granddaughter, like, my goodness, like, I love her so much, you know, it's just, yeah, it's so cool.
And how that happens, like, so instantaneous that your heart just like grows.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, I love her. Like, I just
unequivocally, never met you, have never held you, love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like she's looked at me on FaceTime.
She has.
I don't know though if she can really see, you know, because they can't, right? They can't.
Well,
really
she
see,
at least
like,
turns in the
XML.
direction of your voice and definitely calms down
But
whenever you're talking to her.
It's funny. It's funny seeing her.
And exciting. And it's really hard for us to like realize that we're grandparents.
Yeah.
You know, that we're old enough to be grandparents.
Yeah. Well, we're not even, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have.
By the time this airs, we'll both be 47.
Yeah.
But we were both 46 as grandparents, which is pretty young. I'd say so, right?
No, absolutely. Yeah, I think so. I mean, now that I'm here, I say that. You know?
I remember thinking about this age and thinking how old it was. You know, like 50. Yeah. I remember, you know, thinking of my grandma who died so young in her 50s, and I had several grandparents who did. And thinking, well, at least they like lived a long life.
And you're like, not really.
But now when I'm thinking, I'm like, dang, that's early.
Not really. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because when you're little, it's just your version of, you know, time and all that is different.
Like, we volunteer for youth. Like, I could throw all those youth boys around like crazy. Like, they're like,
Brad's like, still got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Still got it. I have to.
It's okay, Gramps. I get it.
No, that's fine.
Now I'm like, hey, Gramps.
You know that's right.
No, but I think, you know, we were trying to think of just something this past week that kind of stuck out to us, other than the fact that we're kind of still, we're grandparents and all this happening so fast, and you know, all that entails. I think that caused us a lot to pay attention to the families around us and the babies around us, and the way that people were interacting kind of all around us. I think that really, because of us being in this stage very quickly, I think caused us to pay even more attention to how that was happening around us. And, you know, we went out for your birthday dinner to this nice little Italian.
I mean, like, overall, so before you get to that, just overall, it's, I've been, I think, more, not even just this last trip, but the last time, because I've had to go to San Diego twice, you know, and even the first time I was there, just seeing, because I knew we were going to have a little grandbaby, you know, and then just thinking how old our kids are now, and, you know, all the different phases that they go through, and then seeing other families with their kids, and don't get me wrong, like, absolutely, like, your kids running amok, like, you need to do something, you know, for sure. I'm definitely a proponent of that. But it's funny seeing some parents how, and I was like this too, and we were both like this, where you get kind of like, hey, like, stop. Whatever you're doing, you know, like, they're not even doing anything wrong. They're just kind of like being little kids, you know, and just like standing in line and doing something, and you don't want other people to be bothered. So you're like, hey, you need to stop that, you know, kind of get in line. And now I see that, and I'm like, man, let them be kids. Like, they're kids, you know, kind of. Again, they're not hitting somebody, you know, like bothering
There's a balance
other people.
here for sure.
There is a balance for sure. But just kind of seeing those different phases and then knowing, we're going to have we have a granddaughter and just all that.
Yeah, I feel like the opposite, that we see more parents who don't try to keep their kids in line at all. More than the other side of it.
No, I mean, I don't know. When we were out there, I thought I saw, well, I didn't see parents keeping kids in line. I saw them not parenting as far, they would just put a screen in front of their kid, and we've talked a little bit about this before, like distractions and I don't even know what you're going to title this. I don't know exactly how this is going to go. You have all the notes, but just that, like what I noticed. So we'd be walking the bay, and it's beautiful. And listen, I get it. We all take for granted, like what's around us, especially if you live there, right? Like we all take for granted what's around us. We all, for sure. Just all those things. Like this is normal to me. So I'm not saying you have to walk around just like oohing and ahhing at everything that's going on around you, because, it's normal.
It is real life,
right? It's real life. So this is not, what I'm getting at is not anything to be like, technology is horrible, you shouldn't have it. Absolutely not.
Or like the saying, like you have to live every moment, like it's your last moment. That's overwhelming.
I think it's a stupid saying. And whatever, like, super thoughtful person like came up with that, and, some like alpha male that's like yelling that, like, it's the dumbest thing ever, because would you clock in at work if it was your last day on
right
Earth? Like there's a bunch. Would you go to sleep?
Would you work out? Would you do?
Would you go to sleep?
Right.
Like there's a bunch of things like, no, I'm not going to do this. This is stupid. So that whole thing, we're not getting at that, but like people would almost run into us because they were staring down at their phone walking. And I know this is an issue. This isn't new. We're not groundbreaking anything.
Yeah.
But it's embarrassing, because it's just like, looking straight down, walking forward. Like, look, I have to check emails. I look at my phone. I both my phones, right? If I'm walking somewhere and I'm going to do that, I just step off to the side and do that, because I'm not trying to do double tasks at the same time. It's just like, okay, right now it's important for me, quote unquote, to look at my phone. So then I'm going to stop doing whatever else I'm doing. I'm going to come over here, get out of everyone's way, do whatever I have to do, and then keep going. If you're just scrolling, like you're getting in everyone's way, and it's just the whole plethora of things that are going on. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, we went to dinner, an amazing, like Italian place in Little Italy, and in San Diego, and a super cool place. Our waiter was Italian, like broken English. Well, no, he spoke great English, but like heavy accent Italian. It was a really cool experience. And there was this table. There was, from what I'm gathering, it was a mom, a grandmother, I think. There's two ladies. The one was older, and then a dad, and then a younger kid. Like, what do you think? Maybe,
I don't even know.
Oh, you didn't even look?
Well, yeah, because my back was
yeah, maybe
to them.
5.
Yeah, I would think
around that time, around that age, and then his older brother, 10 maybe, something around that, young kids, right? And the little kid was acting a fool, like. But like talking back, acting like a fool. Like it was embarrassing. Yeah. Right? Like I was like, man, do something with your kid. But at one point, so both the kids are on some kind of tablet, right? And you see that so often now. You really do.
We're also like not attacking people. We understand things go down.
Absolutely. But I will say, if you're going to dinner, like we're out at dinner.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about a drive in the car, or in an office room waiting, things like where it's like, hey man, watch something on your tablet. I don't care. But this is like, we're at a dinner, right? Forget the location. You could be McDonald's, it doesn't matter, but you're at dinner with your family, so I don't like the tablet thing. I would argue against it.
Yeah. And then there is something too, because I think, listening to the last episode, I think what people want to say is like, well, that's hard. They're always this, they're always that. And yeah, it is.
Yeah. Have a conversation
but
with your
you
kid.
have to teach your kids what it is to be able to function as a family in society, in public. And
I'm pro technology. First of all, like 100%. I have a tablet. I have a phone. Like I'm pro technology for sure. Well, I don't want to,
I'm pro.
I'm just like, I'm not knocking technology at all. Like it's amazing what we have.
In its place, it really is such a tool.
Right? I mean, we can track our kids overseas. I
Right.
could see like how's,
I'm all about ChatGPT.
maybe not how he's doing, but like I can only see like, oh, he's here now, kind of.
He's out of battery for 4 days.
Yeah. But there we were there at dinner, and of course both kids are on tablets, and then at one point, like they get their food. This is like food at the table. Waiter comes over, puts the food down.
Beautiful restaurant,
amazing food. But even that, like it could be Denny's,
right?
So, and that's why how I feel, right? But I'm looking at this happen, and the waiter comes, and the food's phenomenal, right? And he's passing out all the food, and then we're talking. Then I look back over, so all the food's there. I look over. Both boys are still on their tablets. Now, both women, mom, grandma, whatever, they're on their phones. Plates in front of them. They're eating. They're holding their phones up, like looking at their phone. Then the dad has his phone out, like horizontal on the table, with his plate in front of it, watching something. Watching the football game. There was a football game on that night, and I was like, "What's going on? Like, why even come out to dinner?" Like I don't know what their bill, like it wasn't cheap.
Oh no.
Like why even come out to dinner if you're not going to have a conversation and enjoy this time with your family instead of just, we're going to look at our phones. And this was just a super blatant, like this one bothered me because even the dad was like, I'm going to watch the game and ignore everything that's going on around me. I'm like, I'd rather be in my room if I was going to watch the game,
right?
Like I'm just going to sit here, like do this. And again, I told Lisa, I was like, well, maybe like, I'm trying to be more empathetic. I'm trying on certain things. Certain things I think I'm pretty good on. Other things I'm trying. But I was like, well, maybe he's a writer. Like Brad
had a whole story.
Yeah, I was like, I got a backstory for this guy because I can't believe if it's not this backstory, I can't believe it.
Right.
I'm having a hard time. Like I'm really thinking about this because I'm like, man,
we get a DM from somebody who's listening to this episode. They're like, hey, I am this. Okay,
great. If you are, but I have this whole backstory that this dad is a sports writer for some online thing or whatever. So he's got to watch the game. Like it's part of, he can't get the highlights. He's got to be up to date, right? So he's got to watch the game. I had this whole thing in my head. I feel like I have to, as a father, what did we talk about?
Fathers just 2 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. As a father, I know I dropped the ball. Like I 100% understand that. Like I know I dropped the ball. There's things I could do better, all those things. But as a father, I'm looking at him and I'm like, man, that's got to be your job. Like there must be a very good reason why you're watching that game right now, because you have your kids and your wife and mom or mother-in-law at the table with you. And and they're ignoring you too. Like they're all ignoring each other. Everyone's ignoring each other, but still it's like, who's the example?
Right.
Right. And it's like,
who's supposed to be leading that home?
Yeah. So I'm like, you got to have this backstory, man. And then I'll let you slide. But if not, I can't fathom why. Right. And again, I'm 100% guilty of picking up my phone and looking at it probably when I shouldn't. I understand that and I work on that a lot, but I'm like,
we're just in this state of disconnected connection.
Yeah.
And it's artificial connection. It's like not anything that really is fulfilling our soul. And it's so everywhere. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how many times we're driving along and I'm looking over at the person next to us.
Oh, I know.
And they've got the phone in front of their face.
Yeah.
Like in front of their face. Yeah. And that's dangerous, first of all. But like, we can't even allow ourselves to actually be disconnected.
Yeah. And I think that, and I feel drawn to do this, and I've talked about it, probably a couple seasons ago, where I'm like, man, I just want to get out by myself to like the mountains, and go some secluded place and spend like, a couple nights there, right? Just kind of camp solo, just disconnect. Because I think it's so important, but you're absolutely right. You can't, the art of just being is lost.
For sure. And I mean, even if we're talking about that scenario, it's like, we've even talked about like, oh, well, this Starlink, and even if you're out in the rural areas, you can be still connected. And it's easy to say, well, it's just in case of an emergency or just in case, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's like, if we have it in case of emergency, the ability to connect also is like there. We want to still be scrolling. We still want to like check this, do that. It's like, inevitably like that addictive side of social media, the addictive side of your phones. Even the level of anxiety that it brings you when you hear like a ding or the phone ring that is your, it's like, it raises your anxiety.
There's times where you're waiting for something important, right? Or maybe your kids are traveling, and so there's times you're waiting for that. But other than that, is it that important? Really, is it that important that text came through and you got to see what that text is? And you're 100% right. It is artificial. Like I saw this more and more with marriages out there, with couples. I'm assuming marriages, but could be, again, a whole nother backstory. But, where you had this, like they were physically together, but they were both like constantly looking down at their phones and there's just a fine line.
Yeah, because I know you and I enjoy like showing each other various things at times.
Well, I was even to the point of like when we were at that, we were sitting there that night, and I think our daughter called you for a minute, and then we were after she got off, we were talking about our granddaughter, and I was pulling up pictures, but I'm like making sure I'm showing, like not just looking down at my phone, but like we're sharing, because I do feel convicted where it's like, I'm looking at that guy and I'm like, man, that's not right what you're doing. But then like there's a mirror right next to me and I'm like, oh, let me look at my phone right now, while there's some quiet time. Right. And I think that's where I think marriages suffer so bad, because there's this disconnecting that you're having, and you don't even realize it's happening.
Yeah, because I'm in the same room. I mean, we've talked about it down to even when we would sit and watch a movie and I would be doing laundry, or I would be, doing whatever, and you didn't feel like that was quality time because I was still distracted doing a task. But add the phone in, and now it's a whole other level of that disconnect that's happening between a couple, because you place like a barrier there, right? Like it's a physical barrier, because if you have your phone in your hand, you're not reaching for each other's hands or, just touching each other in some way, like those little connections, those little micro connections that matter so much. But then there's the emotional disconnect that you're placing there, right? Because the only thing that I'm carrying on a conversation about is what I am invested in on this device, right? And so you're watching TV and I'm on a device and randomly inserting some
random fact or
talking point about what I'm invested in, because I'm not invested in the same thing you are, right? So I'm already like placing a level of emotional disconnect there. And it's just, I feel that this is becoming more and more and more of a problem. Enough so that we're talking about it again, because I know we've had this on various episodes.
And you get, I mean, again, you jotted down a bunch of notes I thought were great, but you were getting into like even the AI world, right? Which is phenomenal. Like it's cool, but it's also like very scary at the same time, you know? And it's just how people are more and more. I read an article the other day where a guy's like, he's in a quote unquote relationship with an AI chick. Like that's
scary. But I feel like that's the direction people are going.
It 100% is. And I mean, I don't like to get like political or, like we try to stay away from that stuff to a certain level. Yeah. But also like the 2020 stuff, like I think that is even, it didn't start it. I think it fast forwarded a lot.
Revealed a lot.
Well, it revealed a lot, but it fast forwarded a lot of things that would have happened anyway. But I think it pushed us forward, not technology wise at all, but it pushed us forward as far as people disconnecting with each other.
For sure.
And living under fear and just wanting to be alone.
It's so true.
There was and
being satisfied with the disconnected connection.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I read random articles, and I read another article recently where this lady, in her 30s, right? They found her in her home. I want to say it was like a year and a half. She had been like, I guess work didn't care, right? Because she wasn't showing up to work. Her bills weren't getting paid. Like all these things were happening. And finally, like her rent reoccurring thing, like ran out. And so they went to go like evict her. And they found her just sitting on the couch dead. I don't know what she died of. They didn't get into that. It was just, the whole article was like exposing the sad truth of like, this person was so alone, like intentionally alone, that she was dead for over a year and no one knew anything.
Yeah, it's sad.
She was sitting in her chair, dead. And that's how they found her. And I'm like, how is that even, I don't understand that. And I'm an introvert. Like by nature, like that is me. I'm an introvert. I like, even when we start the podcast, right? You usually start off not because I don't know what to say, but you start conversations. Like that's just who you are. Like I'm like, okay, it's quiet. Let's start a conversation, right? I just drove my son and one of his schoolmates to an event today, and it was quiet the whole time. It was quiet the whole time. And my son said a little something to me, and say a little something back, kind of like quick small talk, whatever. But other than that, it was quiet. Almost a point of like, do I need to say, like, is this kid scared of me?
Probably.
Like, does he, do I need to like,
probably,
hey, I don't even know, like, how's your week? But I'm not I don't necessarily start conversations.
You totally start conversations.
I don't feel like it. Anyway, I was just laughing because I was thinking how you, in that situation, you would have been like, and what are your plans for college? Like, what are you thinking? Like, what are you doing? Just like you would have been, like, we would have gotten everything from this kid, which is fine. But I was like, oh, it's quiet. Everybody seems to be okay. So I'm just going to sip on my coffee.
Living in fear, it's fine.
And drive to the other side of town. It's no big deal. We got music on, nothing. But I don't even want to be alone, right? Like I don't want to just live my life alone in that sense. But now that you have your phones, you have all these things, there's people that this is it. This is their real connection is with some artificial intelligence on the other side of a screen.
Not only that, but what happens with that is we just find people, or we find this artificial connection that everything that you have decided is a good thing, everything that you believe, everything that you do is justified and condoned.
Yeah.
Like it's community that stretches us beyond our own capacity and reveals things in us. And also when we're in godly community, it's meant to keep us accountable to God's truth. And so the more that we isolate, the more that we find justification for just continuing to do whatever it is that we want.
You can find a community for anything.
It's crazy to me how much that is
and that's case. Not a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yes, like, it's that's not why I said godly community.
Yeah, because you can find a community for anything. Anything you believe. It could be, I believe we need to eradicate X country. There's a community for that.
Yeah, scarily.
And you can find them, and you join that, and you'll be like, "Yep, everyone else is wrong." It's crazy to me. And then I think people can hear this and go, "Well, like, yeah, but that's how it is with a godly community. That's how it is with Christians." That's there's this. This is how you believe, and everybody else is wrong, and this is blah blah blah. And my challenge to that would be, there is religion and there's the Bible, right? And yes, if it's in the Bible and you're contradicting that, then yeah, you're wrong, right? Now if it's a religion and you're contradicting that, well, then you need to dive a little deeper and go, okay, well, is it really biblical truth?
What is
or
God's
is it
truth?
Based on man's rules to keep people in line with what the Bible, so then you have to kind of dig a little bit more, right? But yeah, I would say that if it's not in this Bible, that it is wrong.
Yeah, it should be if you're in godly community that you're aligned.
But not condemning, like it's not my place to condemn somebody else. Like, yes, I'm going to judge them.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to be like, man, probably shouldn't be doing that, in that sense,
that
right?
calling out, like we are called to do that.
Absolutely. But I don't like lifestyles and things like that go against God's word. But I'm not going to sit there and scream and yell at someone to change.
Yeah.
I'm going to share the gospel, because the gospel is what changes people. It's not me screaming and yelling. And
I can love you and not agree with you.
Absolutely, all day. But yeah, this being alone, this connected to online communities only, even online godly communities. Like, I was a part of a great online community for men, and I think it was phenomenal. I'm not a part of it anymore just because I was growing and kind of moved on, right? And not saying that they didn't grow or anything. I'm not saying anything bad about this group. But if that's your only place you're running, like, it's not right. It's not good.
Yeah. It can be an avenue that is helpful, but it shouldn't be your source.
Yeah, you need this actual physical community. That's why I get so annoyed when people are like, well, there wasn't church, and Jesus didn't go to church, and all those things, because it's like, well, no, he had a community, but also that's what the rest, after he leaves the earth, the rest of the Bible is literally churches being built.
Well, and what's crazy about that too is Jesus followed Jewish tradition.
Yeah.
And so he was very much surrounded by the community of, and traditions of the Jewish culture at the time. And so, he came to fulfill all those things, but it's not that he was not part of or learned the traditions that were, part of Jewish community at the time. And so it's kind of a foolish thing to think like, okay, he just was like walking around and solo. No, we're
not meant to do life alone.
No,
we're not. If we were, then it would just been Adam.
It's true.
Right?
And God literally said, it is not good for man to be alone.
Yeah. We're not meant to live life alone. And when you let these distractions, like you could be like, oh, well, I'm married, I have kids, like I'm not alone. But look at your past week right now. Like, how, were you on your phone at key moments, of time that was there? And we've talked about like no phone zones and doing this and doing that. And I think that all those are good, but also I think people just need to like start being more aware. Like, I want this physical connection with you, emotional connection with you. I don't want it through my phone.
It's true. And this is convicting for me too. I mean, just definitely in that aspect of knowing that when am I picking this up what's the most important thing. And I think even the sense of urgency, it's been something that I've really been working on, I think, since, especially with even social media, is like or my email, like I will get to this when I can. Like I don't allow myself to feel this sense of desperate urgency to make things happen right away. It's like, nope, this is a specific time for this, and that's okay. Or this is a specific time for like that I can get on social media and do something, and then I can just leave it instead of feeling that consistent need to check or respond to comments or, you know, because you can feel that pressure so much. Like,
absolutely.
And
there's
what's
times
important.
that it's fine. Like there was times on our getaway, you know, we're in the hotel room, just kind of hanging out, like, you know, quote unquote decompressing or whatever, but we're just kind of there. Right. And I was on my phone, you were on your phone, or you were talking to Aubrey or, you know, something, you know, but we were busy separately and it was okay.
Yeah.
But also I'm not going to do that for hours. Like, you know, there's got to be this mix. I mean, it's just, yeah.
And I'm so thankful for the ability to connect. Like we have a daughter who is living in another country and now our granddaughter. I'm so thankful that that's what we have the capacity to do. But I'm also just wanting to be so aware of how that's used. You know, like I love that when our daughter calls, a lot of time it's on FaceTime, and I love that. And a lot of times when I get to talk to some of my good friends, it's on FaceTime. And so to me, that is like we can't physically be with each other. So I'm so thankful for that. But the aspect of knowing what's the most important and making time for that, like we definitely are losing that skill in society, and our kids are watching. You know, we get a chance to be with the youth every week, and you know, even hearing some of them talk about, you know, their desire for connection and community and the struggle that they have with phones, and you know how so much of communication now is done via what you have seen on social media. You know, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, it is.
Why do I feel like you keep looking over here all weird?
I'm trying to look at the notes.
Oh, okay.
But I can't find them. So,
because
I don't.
Brad keeps looking over at me all weird, and I'm like, "What is happening here?"
I don't have my phone, so I don't have a way to look at.
We did have some notes,
down.
Just practical ways to reconnect in marriage, and so we already mentioned this, but to have some phone-free zones. The only thing that gets a little bit iffy with this, and we did, you know, a whole episode on this like seasons back, is just that this can be very much where you can get into where people get into, there's usually one person who's more of the rule follower, right? And so it can come into this like, oh, well, you didn't follow this rule, and it can become this like shame game really easily. But I do think like, especially around mealtime, that this can be something that is just becomes the culture of your family, where it's like, we're not going to be on our phones.
Well, just have conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Yes, there's going to be times where dinner's quiet. Like we've gone out on dates, and there's times where it's just kind of quiet. It's okay. It doesn't mean that there's a fractured relationship. That doesn't mean there's a problem, right? That it's like, oh, I don't want to talk right now because I'm mad, or she's mad at me. And, you know, it's just weird. It doesn't mean anything. It's just, it's okay. It's just quiet. And that's where I think people are losing that.
The ability to be.
That it's okay that there's nothing going on. It's okay that your brain's not like looking at something or reading something, or, you know, or interacting or getting like those, you know, dopamine hits or whatever. It's okay. It's okay just to be at the table.
Yeah.
Right.
And we need that, actually. We just really do.
Everybody needs that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, anxiety's through the roof, you know, fear's through the roof, like all those things. Why? Look
constant access to worst case scenario.
I mean, even here, so we live in El Paso. For those of you that don't know, El Paso, Texas, the furthest west you can get in Texas. And we have, there's an Instagram page here that it's legit amazing Instagram page, right? it's and it's changed throughout there, but basically I think I want to say like all of El Paso follows this page. No one knows who runs it. Well, I say no one, but
somebody knows.
Yeah, somebody knows. But it's called the Real Fit Fam of El Paso or something like that. Fit Fam, or it's just short for Fit Fam.
Yeah.
And you can get on there any time of the day, find out what accident just happened, find out what roads closed, find out, it just...
People trust it as a news source more than the news.
It hits faster than the news does. This is funny, not funny, but for work, we've literally responded based off of that versus an actual call. Because something just literally went down and guys were in the area and it was like, hey man, this just happened, like we're rolling.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts, right? So, and it's because everybody, all the citizens are taking videos and someone knows something and they just feed it to this page. But if you get on this page, you would think that El Paso is the leading, the leader in crime, the leader in accidents. You would think,
right,
based on that page alone, that we lead the country in all the bad things you can think of, that we lead the country in. It's clearly not the case.
Yeah.
Clearly,
statistically doesn't match up.
Absolutely. We're not the biggest state or the biggest city in Texas. So statistically, just in Texas, it doesn't make sense. Right now, add in the nation, it doesn't make sense. But I know people that are afraid to do so many things now because of that page. And I'm not knocking the page. I think it's great to get like updates like that, be able to see like, oh man, I'm not going that way. The highway's closed down because someone, got in an accident, whatever it is. But so I use it, to like randomly, but people look on there and they'll see like a truck on fire, motorcycle got hit, this guy crashed into this wall, this car flipped over here, all these things. And they're like, I can't even drive in El Paso. Like, there's no way. Now, I'm generally speaking, there are a lot of bad drivers in El Paso.
For sure.
There's probably a lot of bad drivers in every city, really, right? It's just that we live in El Paso. I've never been to a place where they're like, all our drivers are amazing. Like I've never heard that, right? So, and then, clearly it's like the person that's saying it, they're clearly an amazing driver. Right. Because I'm not looped in with all those bad drivers.
Clearly.
But people are scared to even drive.
Yeah. You live in that constant
because of this constant news and information that's being flooded to them. You wonder why you deal with anxiety and all those things. Man, maybe it's your phone.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not a psychologist. All of you that hear this know this. I have no doctor in anything. But maybe it is your phone. Maybe if you limited that, limited how much news you see. And look, as a Christian, we should stay up with the news. We should be in the know of what's going on. Absolutely. I'm not saying, as a Christian, just pray and sit back and just let things happen. Absolutely not. Like, it's our duty. As a citizen, it's our duty to know what's going on in our country so we can vote the right way and do, all those things. So please don't hear that when I'm saying this, but maybe you need to limit your phone usage on the information you're getting, because we're not called to be a fearful person.
To me, when you're saying all that, I think what I'm thinking is that in a lot of ways, I think we need to make our world smaller and our connections deeper. It's like, we don't have to know all the things everywhere all the time.
That's so true.
And that in and of itself creates anxiety and fear and a level of feeling the necessity for control that we were never meant to have. And then your connections being deeper, like they need to be real and deep, where it's like the circle that you are in your small circle, in your smaller world, like make it authentic, make it true. Find people that are willing to walk life out with you and even call you out when is needed, right? And also
Absolutely.
support you and pray for you. And, just that's a beautiful thing.
When you have that, I love having a small circle, first of all.
I know you do.
I love it. Well, no, I mean, I think my circle's a little bigger because of you, which is fine, of course. But I
Brad's
love
like, it's fine.
Yeah. But I love it because of what you're saying. So if you don't have that, when someone speaks into your life, you're going to take it the wrong way. You're going to take it a way of offense, really. You're going to take it, like, well, they don't know me. They don't know what I've been through. They don't, the whole victim thing, right? Like, oh, you don't know me. You don't know anything about me. How can you say this? Where if you have that smaller world, smaller circle, this community, now, like those people in that community, like they can talk to you. I've said it before, like that. I don't allow just anyone to speak into my life. Mm-hmm. And I think that's healthy. There's only a certain amount of people that can speak into my life. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that that's wrong. I think it's a good thing. And that's what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Those people that I allow to speak into my life, I have real connection with. They know me.
Real investment.
Yeah. They know me. They care about me. Mm-hmm. They love me. And I love them and I care about them. Like there's this deeper connection than just, we're friends, mm-hmm. right? Like they know about me. They know even if I say something that sounds off, they know where I'm coming from, right? It's this deep connection. And because of that, those people can speak into me, even if I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, it's
because
true.
I know they're coming from a place of love and they see something that I can't see.
Which is exactly what you want in your marriage relationship too.
100%. I want you to be able to, how many times have we coached a couple where I'm like, when Lisa tells me something, I'd never take it in a way of she's trying to hurt me. She's, maybe you're annoyed with me, but but it's coming from love, right? It's not coming from a selfish place. It's coming from love. And so I know it. I can take different things you say. If I'm looking at it in that light, and we have that relationship, then there's things you could say to me that you wouldn't be able to say if we didn't have that relationship.
For sure. And vice versa, because it's that element of knowing where, you're on that same team. Mm-hmm. And that's so huge when it comes to your communication and feeling that level of in your community and in your marriage, that level of we can be real with each other because we know the intention that we have with one another. And that's why you do have to have your circle in such a way. And I also just side note, because we did a whole episode just on services that we have. And that's why I love the reboot so much is that makes that world smaller, is that when we get a couple in here and we get a chance to spend 2 days with them, it takes that big social media whole world, it makes it small. Yeah. It's like now I get to do the things that we love to do, which is to say, I'm looking at you in your eyes and you're with just another couple and you can invest there. And I think there's such a beauty to that. Yeah. Or like even a retreat aspect where it's small. It just makes the world smaller. It's like, that is a cool thing that God does is, gives us opportunities to connect in ways that I think require more of you. Mm-hmm. Because it does, like these kind of connection points to not be distracted, like it requires more of you.
Absolutely. And that's why even like this week that we were in San Diego, we walked a lot. We had a car, but I like walking and especially in like city areas, I just would rather walk. And like how many conversations did we have of random things that
side by side
probably wouldn't have had if we were just sitting somewhere or looking at our phones or, just kind of not really engaged. Yeah. Where we're just walking. And I'm saying that because like, yes, I feel that as a couple, you need to get away. There's times you need to get away, but also it doesn't have to be expensive, right? It could just be this shared moment where you're just walking on a trail or walking this neighborhood or whatever. But this is when like those, like organic conversations come up where it's not
absolutely.
It's not like I don't, when we left the hotel to go walking, the only agenda I had was to go to the ice cream place that I love. And I'm not a person, like, if you know me, that sounds super weird for me to say that.
Yeah.
So I'm not a sweets person.
But we found even a better
ice cream place I love, or wherever we're going to go eat. Like, it's going to be a cool experience. Like, that's the only thing I have on my mind. Now, whatever happens between A and B is just organic. It's just, we're walking, enjoying the view, talking about whatever, and it brings up random conversations. But we've been married, 24 years, and we still learn things about each other because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't get old. And that's why I'm like, don't worry I wasn't worried when we walked and it was quiet.
No.
Because it's fine. Like, you go to dinner, there's going to be some quiet times. Like, it's okay. Like, just relax and just understand that this is okay. But also you don't know everything about your spouse. No,
because you're changing, your spouse is changing.
Yeah.
That's like the really beautiful thing. And I think that's an important thing to remember with connection is a lot of times it is those side-by-side interactions that you get a chance to really intentionally put aside distractions and allow those things to happen organically, because there's so many pressures around people feeling like, okay, well now, what's your deepest dream?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying those questions are bad.
No, those questions are great. I don't like those questions.
Yeah, because you feel like an immense amount of pressure. Yeah,
that's super cool for all you extroverts and all these things. That I personally do not like. My son would ask me those questions, and he's like, "What was your favorite thing when you were 5?" And I'm like, I don't.
The worst when he asks is like, "What's your saddest childhood memory?" And you're like, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah. All right.
And it's just like a random day.
Yeah.
Just
There's no reason.
Let me just have this conversation.
Tough questions. And you're like, dude, can we just like be quiet for a minute? Is that okay? Yeah. No, I mean, our trip to San Diego was awesome. We did a few different things to connect. Really. The ice cream place was legit. Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them. If you're ever in San Diego, Anne's Dry Cleaning.
Very random, but yes, you need to go.
But it's not, don't drop your laundry out there. So it's not a laundry place, but it is a legit ice cream place. It was really cool. And then the sights, of course, and we went to the beach, the Cove.
And I appreciated, I think, Brad was there for work, and I think that's this aspect that we really wanted to make sure that we were connecting in times that he wasn't working. But you get back, and every single day he was just like, okay, let's go do the thing. Because of course in my mind I got like little things that I have and want to do.
In my mind, I said it, you were busy during the day, but I thought you were just sitting there like pining over me, just waiting for me to return.
Yes, that's what I was doing.
And then I'd get back and you're like busy working. Doing your thing. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, we ready? Like, what's going on?
I'm always pining when you're away, baby. I'm always pining. No, and I think making sure, just to kind of get back to that distraction side of things is, some practical sides of that is even, find some things that help even replace that. I'm going to grab my phone. And not that this is a solution, but like read a book together, find something that will cultivate conversation, even if it's like, okay, you're going to read a chapter and then we can talk about it later.
Like pinch the booty instead of grabbing the phone?
You can.
Perfect.
But there's a lot of things. I'm always ready for sure. There's just a lot of things that you can do that are going to promote, instead of you guys feeling like we're in the same room, but we are living in two different worlds. Yeah. And there's so many marriages that feel that way, but it's like, instead of waiting for your spouse, and I think maybe that's where we can just get a challenge, but instead of waiting for your spouse, because this is where the disconnection grows, right? You put your phone down and then you just look at your spouse like, gonna just keep going.
So Lisa, I'm gonna call you on this.
Okay.
So Lisa will be working or working on a post or whatever, and you're getting something done, and I'm just like laying on the floor, zoning out, like looking at my phone, and or like I've showing crew something, just kind of like just on my phone, right? And then you get off, and then it's like,
hands down, get off the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Now. I don't want to have to ask you, what are you doing? Like now I'm annoyed because what I was doing had purpose. Okay. So I know you're over there just like looking at Frenchie videos. Okay. So it's time to get off. Every woman will relate to me on this. Yeah. We know what we're doing.
I'm off now. Everyone
get off right now.
Put it down.
We're going to do a reel about that because it's so true.
No, I think the big takeaway is just what you said earlier. I mean, this goes for marriages, of course, and just in general though. Phones aren't bad. Like your iPad isn't bad or your tablet's not bad, your laptop, like these things are not inherently bad. There's a lot of good that comes from this, right? Just like you said earlier, like I've got to speak to my grandkid.
Yeah.
Through the phone, right? Or through like FaceTiming, like she's seen my face.
Right. Heard my voice.
Like that wouldn't have happened, prior to this, right? So, I mean, there is like so many good things. There's good resources. It's just knowledge, right? Like there's so many good things about it. It's when we let it rule our lives, right? So to shrink your community, have a deeper connection, your community's not Instagram.
No.
That's not your community. Like
that can be taken away in a moment.
Absolutely. Like they could shut us down at any moment. Mm-hmm. Like we can cease to exist on Instagram, and don't get us wrong. Like we get DMs from people, like love it. Like there is this, seeking knowledge and asking questions and advice. Like that is great. Like we love that, but we also know that this doesn't rule our life. Like your social media can't rule your life. You're checking the news can't rule your life. Like all these things that you get from this technology, once it starts ruling your life, it's going to affect every other relationship in your circle.
And it'll sabotage it.
It'll sabotage it for sure, but it's going to affect it so much. And then you're going to find yourself so disconnected. And then it's going back to what we said so many times, like there's a little crack and nobody's going to move. And all of a sudden that crack becomes a crevice.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it's like, well, I mean, we haven't even kissed for, a month. And last time, you even touched my hand was this. And then no one wants to move.
Right.
To bridge that back. Right. And then it's just easier. I could pick up my phone and be watching videos and do this and distract my mind.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not feeling rejected.
Yeah.
And
from what the hard needs to happen. Right. Mm-hmm. Instead, I could just put my phone down, confront this hard that needs to, we need to build this bridge back up. We need to reconnect. We need to do all these things.
Yeah, it's like the easy solution to a difficult problem.
Yeah.
And difficult problems require you to wade into the hard. And so,
I mean, you would
don't
never
give up.
You would never, like, if it was a drug, you'd be looking at it totally different. Right. If it was alcohol, you'd look at it totally different, right? Because people run to those to get rid of problems. Mm-hmm. People run into their phones mechanism to get rid of problems.
Absolutely.
But no one's, it's like, oh, he's just on his phone. Well, no, but you're not dealing with what's going on. It's an acceptable
drug at this point. It really has become just like a societal norm. But, and just to circle back to like that challenge thing, because I think this is where there's so many people that give up on this, is that when you're feeling like I'm making an effort and my spouse isn't, then resentment builds up really quickly and that disconnect. But I think, have honest conversations, and then in reality, you can only own your own behavior. And so model the change that you want to see here. But if your spouse is just not getting on board with that, don't let yourself get bitter about it. Just continue to show that your desire is for connection and that you are not then continuing to use the phone as that coping mechanism to try to basically replace it. Because you have to let that place, you have to let that recognition that it needs to be filled by, and it's meant to be filled by God and then your spouse, right? And so letting that actually like sit, even though it's heavy.
I would say, like, I think a challenge should be an individual one. And I think you should start with, you know, like putting the phone down, putting on do not disturb. You could be by yourself. It doesn't matter. I don't care. But doing this to where set a timer.
That's good.
Maybe start with 5 minutes. And that's low, but maybe start with 5 minutes. And just put that thing away and don't reach for it for 5 minutes. Take that watch off. If you have a smartwatch, like like de-tech yourself.
Yeah, it's
right?
good.
And set it down. And like I'm saying, 5 minutes. You can't tell me that, you know, you're not going to get a text / email or call in those 5 minutes, you know, that's going to be this.
That you can't return in 5 minutes.
That you can't return in 5 minutes.
Yeah. And it is kind of crazy with that because just thinking about how we grew up, I mean, it was like, you were gone. And then your parents would tell you, be home at this time.
Yeah.
And then that was your only point of connection. Like,
no, let me tell you how I grew up. My parents would go out with my little brother when I was at school, right, to the zoo or something. We had like season passes, right? We lived in Chula Vista in San Diego area. And they would go out and I'd come home and like, you know, have the key on my neck, you know, go in the house and my parents wouldn't be there. My brother, I had no way of calling
finding
them
out,
like, hey, you know,
or checking on Life 360.
Yeah. Like, hey, where you guys at? Like, what's going on? And then in my little world, right, which it probably wasn't that long, you know, like me being alone, but I definitely had like some probably, you know, not dependency, but like the latching, you know, like I didn't want my parents are gone, you know, kind of, but it probably wasn't like crazy long, but in my head it was long. And I thought like, this is hilarious. I'll say, I thought like the rapture had taken place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is it. I'm by myself now. Like I'm going to go feral. And I got to figure out.
I like how that's your only solution.
Like I have to figure out like, how am I going to get food?
I'm going to go feral.
Like I don't have to go to school anymore. Now I got to figure other things out though. Like I'm not going to live here that much longer. They're going to come take this.
You really thought this through too. Like I'm not going to school anymore.
Like what am I going to do now? Like I don't have the keys to the car. I don't have anything. Like, what am I going to do now? This is my life. You know, and then they'd come home. Right. But
back to school I go.
Back to school tomorrow.
Put feral on hold.
Yeah. But I didn't, you know, we had no way of checking anything. Right. Yeah. And so my challenge to everyone, start with 5 minutes. Like, come on, you can give yourself 5 minutes away from tech and just sit. Don't grab a book and read a book because now you're just distracting yourself with something else. Mm-hmm. Right. I'm meaning just sit in your thoughts. Just sit.
It's scary stuff right there.
It is. It is scary. Just sit there. Don't grab your phone. Let the timer go off. After the timer go off, then okay, I'm done. Grab my phone, you know, whatever you got to do. But let that be a challenge.
Yeah,
and good. Then build that up to a habit to where you become comfortable just sitting there without knowing, right? Someone could be reaching out to me. It's okay. Like I'll get to them. Right? How often do you ignore a text now? Leave it unread? Like, I'll get to it when I get to it, but you're still on your phone, you know? So, I mean, it's the same concept. Set it down. 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's good. All right. We'll see you next week.